I wanted to show you guys. And this is something very precious for me. Just you can take a look. Maybe you can see this.
Palestinian, right?
Yes. So this is the Palestinian pound.
I'm having a really interesting day today. Just a few hours ago, I came across currency back from 1927, which belonged to the Palestinian state. We are shortly going to be in conversation with the person who brought the currency for us to see, but it was so interesting for me to, well, more than interesting, it made me inquisitive. I mean, I've been thinking about it since then. And then this person, who also actually happens to be of Palestinian origin from the West Bank, Jenin originally, but now has been in Pakistan for a few years. I think he's more Pakistani than a lot of Pakistani journalists themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat room with Shiza today, I have Bakr Atyani, who is a journalist in Pakistan. Welcome, and thank you so much for your time, Bakr. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thank you very much, Shiza, for the opportunity.
It's absolutely my pleasure. I have to mention over here, I've been trying really hard to get a hold of him. Busy man. Other than work, I think you travel a lot. Is that for work also?
Yeah, that's for work, of course, yeah.
And
I work in Asia as well, in addition to Pakistan, other Asian countries, so I have to travel to Asia.
Yeah, because you're traveling very often. So now I understand that traveling as a journalist is a part of your job. Is it something you enjoy? Or is it hectic at this point?
It is hectic. At the same time, I feel it's, the moment I land in a country, like I'm traveling from Pakistan, tomorrow I'll be flying out, I'll be going to Malaysia.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to go to Malaysia because I know there is some work waiting for me, a new challenge, something to do. So I see it this way. It is indeed hectic, but at the same time, interesting, new energy, a new place, a new challenge. So yeah, that's part of our work as journalists.
Right, and a lot of learning.
Indeed, yeah, a lot of learning, of course. Every day you learn.
Speaking of learning, I mean, when you visit new places, of course, you bring a piece of culture from there every time you come back, right? But you have been in Pakistan for quite a while. Would you say that you are a Pakistani?
Well, I'm proud to say that I'm kind of a Pakistani, or I know Pakistan, I know the people, I know the culture, I know the food. So, there is something interesting. Every time I land in Pakistan, every time, it's been years now, I have this smile on my face.
Oh.
I feel really that I'm returning back to my home. As a Palestinian, actually, nothing like your home.
Of course.
Yeah, and haven't been to Palestine since so many years, and I cannot go back.
Right.
And every place has its own, it has its own impact on you. You actually learn something from there. But when it comes to Pakistan, I feel I really more connected to Pakistan, more connected to the people, and I actually feel the love. I feel the true, really, support of the Pakistanis for Palestine, for the Palestinians. When I tell any Pakistani, I'm from Palestine, you feel all of this love and support that they actually show and give you whenever you say you are a Palestinian.
Yeah. Of course, and I tell you that love comes naturally. When you say Palestine or Palestine in front of any Pakistani, we feel so brotherly towards Palestine. Should we say Palestine or Palestine?
So in Arabic, it is Palestine.
Yeah.
In English, it's Palestine, I'm sure you know. So
right.
I would love to use Palestine.
All right, let's use
I would
Palestine
love to use
then.
Gaza instead of using Gaza.
Gaza, absolutely. Yeah. Right. Urdu kitni aati hai aapko?
Bas, Tora.
Tora, perfect. All right, Bakr. We do realize that you moved from your homeland for work, obviously. It happens to a lot of people. But you mentioned that you aren't able to go back. And I think a lot of us understand why. Does it make you feel so heavy, and does it give you any kind of a guilty conscience that you are away from home, yet you're seeing in front of your eyes what has been happening to your home for so many years?
Of course, you feel helpless actually in front of what you see and what is happening and what happened. I actually still remember last time I was in my hometown near Jenin. I'm from a town near Jenin district.
Mm-hmm.
I think that feeling I will never forget, and I can't forget. It is actually the feeling that you belong to this place. I travel a lot, and I've seen so many places, and I love so many places, including Pakistan. But that feeling, I never had it since that day. Of course, you feel helpless.
Mm-hmm.
When I speak to because some of my family members are still in there. When I speak to them, when the daily atrocities, the daily torture, the daily harassment that they see by the Israeli forces, it's unbearable actually. But unfortunately, something which is ironic, strange here,
Yeah.
they actually give me the strength when I talk to them. They are very strong.
Wow.
And they believe this is their land.
Mm-hmm.
The strangers should go. They will stay. And
Of course.
they said, we will stay. Those who came and occupied this land, they have to leave.
Of course. Well, and that's how it should be, absolutely 100%. But honestly, it's so inspiring to look at the strength of people in Gaza right now. I just don't know where it's coming from. It's absolutely divine, because I don't believe it's humanly possible to have that kind of strength when so many atrocities are going around you. Well, on the 10th of October, alhamdulillah, we were really happy that officially a ceasefire was announced between Gaza and Israel. But ever since then, of course, the latest number I had while we're recording this is 100 Palestinians have been killed and more than 230 have been wounded after the ceasefire. Is the ceasefire really just like a halt to the airstrikes? What is it to you? What does it mean?
Well, at least now people can, at least the killing had stopped somehow. Aid can come in. I know Israel has cut it into half.
Mm-hmm.
And some hope for the people. Netanyahu's and Israeli government plan to completely push the Palestinians out of Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
Those plans have failed.
Yeah.
The people are returning to their homes, even if it's been destroyed, or most of them actually they found that their homes have been completely destroyed there.
Right.
But does this mean actually there is a peace? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Israel is not interested in any peace.
Mm-hmm.
Even the two-state theory or solution,
Mm-hmm.
what it's been actually being said,
Mm-hmm.
Israel actually has killed every opportunity, a chance for this solution actually to take place.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not today. This is not in October 7. This is before that. The Palestinian Liberation Organization signed a peace agreement,
Mm-hmm.
or a political settlement, I would call it, with Israel in 1993. That is Oslo Agreement. Oslo Agreement was supposed to create
Mm-hmm.
a Palestinian state within 5 years. Israel made sure
Mm-hmm.
that this will never happen. More land confiscations, more confiscating lands from East Jerusalem, denied the Palestinians the right of return.
Mm.
They have made sure that there is nothing called a Palestinian state to exist. So I believe unless any peace means to give people their rights,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Israel is interested in giving the Palestinians their rights.
No, I don't think so too. And that's really unfortunate. But again, like, we really have to commend the resilience of Palestinians, because if this is going on for, I mean, more than 70 years, for Palestine to still, of course, exist and so powerfully, so with so much might, we have to really commend and kudos to the resilience of Palestinians. But, you know, Bakr, ever since 2023, I know the atrocities have been going on since way before that, but the non-stop war started back in 2023. And since then, whenever we had to get a first-hand real account of news of what was happening in Gaza, we eventually realized, after looking at so many news organizations and so many newspapers, that there's not everyone that we can trust. So now we knew, and by we, I mean Pakistanis or journalists, we knew that, okay, if we want real information, we really have to go to Al Jazeera, or then TRT for that matter. Do you agree that Western media's coverage of the Gaza war has been really filtered and they are complicit in the genocide?
It's not only filtered, it's intentionally facts being altered, headlines being written in order actually to support the Israeli narrative.
Right.
The Western media, and I say it unapologetically, they were complicit. Right. They are complicit. There's a blood of Palestinians on their hands. When you describe an Israeli, when you use the word killed for an Israeli and died for a Palestinian.
Right.
When you describe a Palestinian woman as a female, an Israeli woman as a woman. When you...
As a mother.
Yeah. An Israeli child as a child, a Palestinian child, teenagers under 18. When you continuously using you don't use the active voice in order to make sure that you hide the person who is behind the action. 10 Palestinians died in an airstrike. You're trying to use those kind of verbs and structuring headlines in a way that you actually try to give kind of a legitimacy sometimes to an Israeli crime. So I certainly believe Western media is partner somehow in this crime, and I can name it.
Right.
Headlines are there. The way stories being structured, the way stories being told, how much coverage being given to the Palestinians and how much coverage being given to the Israelis. This is all on the record. That's why I certainly believe that we need to take the narrative back from the Western media.
Right.
They are not supposed to tell our stories through their eyes.
No, of course not.
We are supposed to tell our stories through our eyes. We are supposed to tell... The news is the news, but there is something we call in news writing the not graph or the context in any story. We need to write it. When you read any story about what's happening in Gaza, the history in X or Y or Z in these news agencies starts only in October 7.
Right.
It started before that. Why don't you say Gaza has been under siege for the past 17 years?
Yeah.
3 wars have been waged against Gaza. This number of people were killed. This is not there in their stories. The history started in October 7. So I believe, yes, we need to take back the narrative. We need to tell them, and I'm going to say it my way, shut up.
Yeah.
We know how to tell our own stories.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can write the inverted pyramid story in a wonderful way. You can write it in a better English than us, but actually you don't know our issues and our story. We can tell our story better than you.
Absolutely, 100%. And I call this whitewashing of the news, and it absolutely is. But this is where media literacy is so important, because you very rightly mentioned so many instances where passive voice has been used, or in sentences certain phenomena have been implied that who is the wrong and who is right. Even if you don't put it out there with words, you are implying something, and that is building a narrative among people who don't have enough knowledge of a situation. So that is definitely not fair. But you also mentioned that it is the time for us to take on the narrative. How do we do that?
Well, I think by actually taking a step forward, by telling everyone we know what our issues, what our stories are, by training journalists. One of the main things, issues that we need, that we face, and that we don't train journalists. We need to train our journalists, and we need to train them about our issues and what we want. It's a bigger plan. What we want is something that should the media should actually work on it. The education in school should work on it. Other parts of life, other parts of life should also work on it.
Yeah.
So I believe it's about the training. It's about taking a step forward, and this is how we will take this the narrative.
Right.
We need to have our news agencies, our TV stations that tell the stories in a professional manner, yet through our own eyes, not through someone else's eyes. Someone is coming from New York, someone is coming from Paris, someone is coming from London. He will narrate the story through his own eyes, not through our own eyes.
But it's kind of so frustrating and limiting when the people who are there on ground in Gaza to report stories from the real perspective through their own eyes have been openly targeted and killed, recorded on camera. Bakr, I do want to get to you about your personal journey of journalism, but a little bit more about Gaza, please. So ever since the ceasefire, there have been certain reports. I'm pretty sure this has been existing before that also, but now this is more under the radar. Civil unrest, or like local tribes rising up against each other. So theoretically speaking, whenever there's a conflict, in this case an armed conflict, when it dies down, there's always a local uprising for different factors. Sometimes people are fighting for resources, sometimes for their identity, for their own voice. But in this case, there have been blames by different news organizations that some of these local groups are funded by Israel to stand up against Hamas and continue unrest in the Palestinian territories. How much do you know about it? And I'm specifically talking about the Doghmush clan. Please excuse me if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. And then there's the Popular Forces led by Yasser Abu Shahab.
Abu Shabab, yes.
Shabab, yes, absolutely.
Correct. Well, those forces were raised, financed, and operates in the territories that Israel still occupy inside Gaza. This tells you the whole story.
But these people are not Israelis.
No, they are from Gaza, Palestinians from Gaza, and they don't. Even their tribes, their families have disowned them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these people were raised by Israel. This is how we try to create a proxy or a situation, trained, armed by Israel, and as I said, operating in the areas that's still under Israeli occupations inside Gaza, which tells you the whole story, being protected by Israeli army, and the Palestinian tribes, the Gazan tribes, they have actually disowned them, and they have supported all the action that's been taken by the Gaza government against those people.
Right, but it's really unfortunate because I was watching. It was a text visual documentary, it wasn't a video, on when, like a few months back, when aid was absolutely banned to enter into Gaza from any of the crossings. The group of Yasser Abu Shabab actually posted photos and videos of them stopping aid trucks and getting off aid and like just enjoying a drink, a can, or like milk and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I'm misreading it, maybe I'm looking at it wrongly. But then, of course, when the news came up about local clans fighting with each other, it's absolutely unfortunate. Is peace then a reality when such groups exist in Gaza?
Well, these are people who are going against their own people, a group of missionaries, people you can buy with money, who are going against their own people, used by the occupation, which you can find it anywhere. An occupation can create such kind of groups to operate or to work against its own people.
Right.
I think describing it a fight among tribes or clans, I don't think this is how it is right now. Just these groups who are fighting they are actually killing people of Gaza. They are not even fighting with the
The
government
nation.
itself of Gaza.
Right.
No, not at all. They kill from the people of Gaza as well.
Mm.
Interestingly, the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, just right after the ceasefire was announced, one of their famous columnists wrote, right after the drones stopped, airstrike ended, we have noticed a dramatical decrease of the truck that used to be stolen from the aid that used to enter Gaza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. But this wouldn't be the first time or the only case for Israelis operating secretly, playing behind certain clans. We have heard about false flag operations in Balochistan also being operated somehow by Israelis. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, there were reports, I believe, a few years back by the foreign policy about how the Israeli intelligence Mossad operated in Balochistan, and they were in touch with a militant group back there in Balochistan called Jundullah. It's an Iranian militant group, a Baluchi militant group, and they were acting as if they are working for a Western intelligence agency. And of course, it was the Mossad, so it was a false flag operation. Yes, they've been operating, and this region certainly is a matter of interest for them.
Right.
Yeah. And recently, I believe one of the institutes that is known as it is operated by former Israeli officers, called Memory, has started a new kind of department or section about Balochistan. So they are indeed having interest in Balochistan.
You have also worked on a story about bin Laden. I want the full story. How it went for you?
Bin Laden.
Yes.
Well, it's a long story. It's a long story. Yeah.
I have time.
Well, actually, I got an opportunity to interview him.
Yeah.
They reached out to me and they offered me to interview bin Laden. My editor was okay with that. So we worked on arranging the interview. It took some time. They arranged my travel just before the borders with Afghanistan. I entered Afghanistan. They took me to the man. Of course, it took about 2 days or more to get to where he used to live or hide, or maybe that was the place for the interview, and then he left the place.
Right.
Somewhere around Kandahar. I met him. After traveling for more than 3 days, actually. Yeah, met with him. I interviewed him. I think the takeaway of that interview was that his threat to attack the United States, and he was hinting to the 9/11 attacks.
All right.
Yes. So I think for me that was the takeaway of this interview.
But that's huge.
Yeah, that's huge. It was 9 weeks before 9/11.
Wow.
Yeah, it was on the 21st of June, 2001. Only one thing I was worried about, that what if he would cancel the interview after all of this traveling?
Oh.
That's what actually was in my mind. And
the only thing you were thinking
the
about.
only thing was really, yes.
Back to your career as a journalist, I know that you have also been in conflict areas for reporting, and now you have been in Pakistan for quite a while. You do work across different countries also. What is it you would say, since we were already talking about it, that we need to train journalists regarding sensitive topics and sensitize them about issues like the Gaza one? How do you see journalism in Pakistan?
All right. I think journalists here need more training. First of all, how to protect themselves.
Okay.
This is number one. Watch all the TV channels, local channels. Rare you find a journalist who's wearing his protective gear. And this is not only the journalist, the responsibility of their
organizations.
Organizations,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
They need to care about their life.
Right.
So I think journalists needs to learn to be trained on how to report in conflict zones, how to report protests, how to report unrest, riots, and also in addition how to protect themselves, also how to report in terms of the editorial language, how to make sure that your sources are credible, authentic, to make sure you don't really misquote people. You don't really exaggerate numbers. You don't go emotional. You don't take sides. So all of this, I think, is very much editorially and also operationally in the field. Journalists should be protected. Here, unfortunately, you see almost all of them. They are reporting in the middle of firing or
chaos.
Chaos, indeed, yeah. And they don't wear their protective gear.
Well, I feel like to them it's almost like a sign of bravery.
Doesn't work this way. So when we plan for coverage of any in a conflict zone or in any security situation, rule number one, to plan how to exit.
Right.
Yes. If you don't know how to exit, don't get in. Secondly, you need to tell the story yourself. Don't be the story.
Don't be the story, absolutely. And I feel like when you're taking emergency trainings, and I've had some also, and I've also had some firefighting training in terms of an emergency, the first thing they tell you, they ask you, in case of something happens and you live in a building or you live in a house shared with family, who is the first person you save? It's you. You save yourself first so that at least you're safe enough to then probably call for help. And then, so yes, it makes sense, absolutely. But again, how does Palestine or the people of Palestine, how do they see Pakistan? Because as Pakistanis, in any form, not just journalists actually, we love Palestine. We have spoken about it. We have stood by it emotionally, diplomatically, politically, at any and every forum we find available. How do Palestinians see Pakistanis?
Well, I think Pakistan is, first of all, known among Palestinians. There is a history between Palestine and Pakistan. And I think Palestinians see Pakistan as a country that they depend on.
Okay.
Yeah. And when they need help or support. And I know what I'm saying because I'm Palestinian and
right.
I know how our people see Pakistan. So yeah, Pakistan, if we want to talk about Pakistan, no, Pakistan indeed has a special place
right.
in the minds and in the heart of the people, and I believe even the officials.
But that's so good to hear, because it's also so heartwarming, because we know what Palestine means to us as Pakistanis, right? It's almost sacred. Like I said already, we have unequivocally supported Palestine across all forums. But Middle East happens to be of so much interest to so many stakeholders or entities that are not even stakeholders. We understand the geography of it, we understand the politics of it, but what they don't understand is that the people who have to bear the brunt of their interest, it's unfair. They are innocent people. So I want to bring to attention once again how Pakistan is recently strengthening. It's also already really good with Middle Eastern countries, but strengthening its relations with Middle Eastern countries after this Gaza episode. How do you, as an expert at this point and as a journalist, how do you view the Saudi-Pakistan Defense Pact? Do you think it is something that is an answer to forces that despise Muslim nations coming together?
I believe this something should have happened a long time ago.
Right.
And it's something natural. I believe Pakistan, as I said, Pakistan being seen by the Middle East. And I believe if I want to talk about the Gulf region mainly, I think Pakistan for them is a strategic alliance, a strategic depth, security depth as well.
Right.
So I think this is natural. This should have happened before, and this is how it should be actually. And this should be expanded. Yeah, more Middle Eastern countries should get in. There's a history, there is a religion, there's a culture.
Right.
many common things between Pakistan and the Middle East. Yeah.
Right. But when we say that, of course, that's us being hopeful, and we really hope it stays this way. But does that also mean that we are probably generalizing the whole Middle East having one stance with Pakistan?
Well, look, this is something interesting. Certainly, the Gulf, maybe because they are very close to Pakistan, their kind of relations with or pacts to be signed with Pakistan may be different than other Middle Eastern. But there's something important. Pakistan seen as a major player in international politics.
Right.
That is for sure. And the Middle East would always look to Pakistan whenever they need, when they want their issues to be, packed, supported either in the UN or on other international platforms. So this is something important to understand. It's not any player. Pakistan is a major player,
right,
an important country,
right,
in all aspects. Maybe requirements or the relations with Egypt would be different maybe than Saudi Arabia or with Syria now or other, but in general, I think this is very important to establish that Pakistan seen in the Middle East
as a major.
I'm not talking now about people. There is love, but I'm talking about maybe decision makers. Pakistan is a major and important country and a player when it comes to international politics.
Right. It's so funny that you should mention this because, see, we understand we are living in Pakistan. We are also journalists, so we do understand how Pakistan happens to be a major key player in the region. So for someone who's sitting outside of the region and who sees us only through news or through social media or the depiction of us, it's confusing to them why such a small country is of such a huge importance. So if you were to explain to them, and because I personally also know people, I lived with them, I studied with them who are of non-Pakistani origin, who are actually interested in the fact, why is Pakistan a major player in the world politics? How would you explain it to them? What is it that makes Pakistan Pakistan?
Geography, population, the people. You have it is actually a state that has its own institutions, strong institutions.
Right.
It has a lot of history to share with all its neighbors, being the Middle East, being Iran, being Afghanistan, even with South Asia. So Pakistan is a very strategically situated country,
right,
with a lot of resources, with politics that actually travels from east to west, west to east through Pakistan. It's indeed important. We've seen even international powers actually during the Soviet invasion. Pakistan role during that time, after the 9/11 and the what United States called it, the war on terror, and so Pakistan is a major player, no doubt,
right.
and as I said, situated in a very important and strategic location.
So back in 2023, when, according to the West, the Gaza war started, back then I was in Amsterdam, and no one had a clear picture of when this was going to end. We were all hoping, we were all praying, of course. A lot of, from our end, we were all trying to send aid into Gaza also, and raise maximum awareness on social media, use any or every platform we have. One very interesting thing we did over there, no credit to me, of course, it was the people who arranged it. We realized that since we don't know how long this war is going to go, we really need to commemorate and highlight the culture of Palestine. And then we did it was a sort of a ladies' dinner, but then we did Palestinian dishes, and then we had Palestinian music, and then there was a little dancing. And then there was a whole movement on social media where people were talking about cultural stuff very specific to Palestine, just to revive the sovereignty of Palestine. So towards the end, I want you to highlight at least 3 things that you absolutely love and you want the world to know about Palestine. Can be cultural, can be anything.
Well, I think Palestine is known of its olive oil. Palestine has deserts, has mountains, and has the sea.
Yeah.
Maybe something that's unique in a very small place. We all speak, of course, Arabic.
Right.
But the people of Gaza maybe speak somehow differently, the accent, than the people in the West Bank. In the West Bank, again, you have different places, the north of West Bank, the south of West Bank. The people of Jerusalem itself, or Al-Quds, they have a different kind of... there are a few words that come on, and there are a few words that we know when I hear, oh, this one from Al-Khalil, from Hebron, this one from Nablus, so we have different dialects within Palestine. And I have actually a feeling that Palestine, the place that has been chosen, the place for many prophets,
right,
a place that has been seeing conflict since very long. It's a place that actually can also bring a change to the world.
Yeah.
During this Gaza war, when it started, I used to say one thing: Gaza will liberate us.
Yeah.
We want to liberate us. Will liberate us of so many things, from thoughts, from beliefs, in many ways. And I believe, to a large extent, this actually had happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so beautiful to say that Gaza will liberate us. There's nothing like, it's not like we are going to liberate Gaza. Gaza will liberate us. Absolutely beautiful. Do you think what the international organizations did, or their stance on the whole issue, has been okay? I mean, you don't have to be Switzerland in anything, right? You have to do something about it.
I think the people of the world have done really a great job by raising their voice. And I think Israel's image in the world before October 7 is not how it is today.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's because the world really now have seen the real face of this occupation.
Right.
About the international organizations, I can't really say in general, but I believe it's all about the occupation, and it's all who believes actually Netanyahu and his team actually they want peace, and they actually they will make a peace. I believe no, that's not the case.
Right.
And Palestinians have actually to continue actually what they believe in. They believe that this is their land, and they have the right to exist.
Right.
Either it's been in Gaza or it's been in the West Bank. And I think that's what would prevail.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that is, I think, a brilliant note to end at. Thank you so much, Bakr Atyani, for your precious time and for such interesting anecdotes. Thank you so much for being in the chat room.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an absolutely precious conversation for me, for so many reasons, of course. But I want you to let us know what you thought about it, any anecdotes you must have about Bakr being a Pakistani now. Conversations never end, but I will catch you next week here in the chat room, which is take care.